Oh, it feels so good to beat the San Francisco 49ers, and especially to stomp a mud hole in them, as to coin an old phrase. That's what the Seahawks did, of course, at CenturyLink, as everyone knows by now, and so many good things to talk about in this game. But I thought one of the things we could talk about is the guy that we talked to, and the podcast is up on the Bob and Groz page, and it was the return of Cliff Avril. And I feel weird saying the return because, as Pete Carroll said at the press conference, they'd never seen him before.
No, it was his debut, and he had a big moment in this game when this team needed it most. They were struggling on offense. It was 2-0 in this game in the first half. Seahawks had just gone for it on 4th and 1. They got a terrible spot from the officials. There was an infraction in the neutral zone on Justin Smith that wasn't called, and it just felt like with that field position that they gave up, the calls they didn't get, all the momentum was going the San Francisco 49ers way. Well, fast forward to 3rd down of that very next drive. Here comes Cliff Avril around the end and slapping the ball loose from Colin Kaepernick, and it stymied that momentum. It was just a huge play and a frenzied crowd out there for him to come up with that play at that time. Couldn't have picked a better moment.
Later on in the game, he became the first player to ever knock down a Kaepernick pass at the line of scrimmage during the regular season, which is an odd stat, but it's actually something that he does very effectively from his defensive end position. And it was just, I think from the Seahawks perspective, you really saw, we all know about Percy Harvin and when he's going to come back, but they had spent big money on a few other guys, comparatively speaking, and both of them, Cliff Avril and Michael Bennett, had a big impact on that game.
Michael Bennett, I've heard Dave Wyman talk about this over and over, and I'll give him credit. He said he thought that might be the most productive pickup of the whole bunch, and that included Antoine Winfield, who was eventually let go. We're still waiting for Percy, as you said. Avril back for just this one game, but Bennett, maybe he will be. I mean, this is a guy that had 9 sacks last year with Tampa Bay, and we've seen what he can do. And it's sort of surprising that he was let go and he was picked up at such a cheap price by football dollars, but he seems to be blending right in he's got kind of a prove-it attitude, maybe a little bit of a chip. He fits right in with Baldwin and Sherman and all the other guys that play with a chip, but maybe he wants to kind of show Tampa Bay and everybody else, here's what you missed.
To use one of Pete Carroll's phrases, one of the real cool things about it, still missing 3 starters on defense and played a game like that.
It makes me jacked.